Hello everyone, it's Scott, and welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolve Skyblock Expert Mode. Yep, so I made one more modification to the fuel refining automation, and that's to add an ore washing plant. So what I've done is added the ability to take the crushed obsidian from over here, crushed uranium, and if I load these into the ore washing plant, what that's going to do is basically do a little bit of a cycle here, and it's going to dump out, let's find it, it's going to dump out a purified crushed uranium ore and lead dust and stone dust. And this purified crushed is going to give me 2 pieces of uranium-235 as well as an extra piece of uranium-238 when I pump them through this thermal centrifuge. So these are running down, producing the items which are being fed into the crafter, and I added an additional formula here with another route. So what's happening is these are going into the canning machine and are producing uranium fuel rods, and I'm feeding those rods back into this chest for another cycle through the crafter where they're becoming quad fuel rods. And then the quad fuel rods go through the back of the device here in a new item duct route that then dump the quad fuels into the chest where they can be absorbed into the nuclear reactor system. And so I have a bunch of quad fuel now that are helping to increase the output of the nuclear reactors. And so I'm taking a bunch of the single fuel rods out just because they're not as efficient. So I'll come back on them later. These are all about half processed. But eventually, I want to be able to, once I have enough of the MOX fuel rods, I'm going to start making quad MOX as well once I have things going through the system. Now that'll give me even more plutonium as well as more EU per tick. And that's pretty good because right now I am up to 4,300 millibuckets of UU matter. And the reason being that this guy is now almost continuously pumping the toolboxes, and so every now and then this stacks up where it actually has one in reserve. But yep, there we go. So this is now running so fast, yep, there we go, that my biggest draw is actually the redstone here. So I'm having trouble keeping this this chest full of redstone. I ended up kind of building another layer of my automatic farm down here, and so this is still a work in progress. Eventually I'm going to fill all this in with redstone so that way I have more crops growing, and yeah, so that'll be pretty good at increasing the total fuel for the innovation dynamos. And let's head back up and check in on the redstone levels. Yeah, 900. So I've dropped below the 1,000 mark. I really need to get the rest of that farm up and going. And yeah, so the way I've been building this out is with the builder's wand. I think I've demoed this before, how easy it is to build once you've gotten the builder's wand. Basically, it's as simple as clicking here. Yeah, as long as I have the products in my inventory, it's a pretty easy set of clicks. Whoops, I'm getting stuck in the water, that's why. So let me just fill in the rest of this. 4, 5, and drop that down. So I was thinking that one of the things I really need to make next is a magnet. Boop. And let me just fill that in, and yep, I really messed this up. Actually, what I really need to do is to cap this off here. Let me, yeah, because the what I was finding was that squids were actually spawning in the water channel, and when the squids hit the ground, that's what was breaking the water around. Oh, and another thing. So I've been playing around with nooks. So if you have the saw here, if you take a saw and grind things down into a slab, then slabs into more slabs, and so on and so forth. Eventually, they'll get down to this little notch, this nook level. And what's good about glowstone is that it has the exact same light level when it's 1/64th of a piece as it has when it's a full piece. So I can just throw these down as very inconspicuous light sources. So that way I can keep lighting up my farm even when I don't have spaces for torches. Alright, the next thing I want to work on is a solution for me running back and forth across the base, filling up redstone. So, what I talked about at the end of last episode was creating a ender chest through the ender storage mod. And this is an advanced ender chest that can hook up to pipes and other forms of automation. And it's interdimensional, unlimited distance. The only thing is it has a limited amount of slots. And what I'd like to do is set up, as I point out, the ender tank frame here has a bit of a limitation in that it requires a machine frame, but the ender tank frame produces 8 at a time, so I'm willing to put up with that in order to get a pretty good device for moving stuff around. So let's wait for this formula to finish. There we go, and 8 ender tank frames. And so the last thing we want to do is let's make well, at least 2 of them. And I'm missing iron chests and yes, iron chests. So let's take a look at, okay, so right here, 2 and 2, iron chest. I was thinking of a formula for this, so iron plate with a regular chest. So let's set that up. And here, iron chest, done. And I started marking these down a little bit with the torches, and so let's see if we can whip up one of these at least. Alright, here we go. Ender chest. And here's our first one. Let's request up a second one while we work. So, what I was thinking of doing was getting the putting it here on the end with a controller slave. And so what I'd like to do, so let's break this slab, put the slave on the bottom. Now we're gonna have a problem with the rotation. No, I don't think so. Looks like I can access that from any side. Let's grab some item ducts and go. And what I'm thinking is that the last thing I need is a bit of coloring. So you can dye the ender chest. So let's grab a little bit of my rose red. Yep. And that will sort of act like a restricted channel on the chest. So let's place the chest right here and hook it up to the controller slave with one of the item ducts. And what I'm going to do is set up just a regular servo here. I'm not going to turn it on quite yet. Now the ender chest has a pretty limited inventory. I'm going to fill up most of these slots with pumpkins just to kind of reserve them. So here let's make, this is going to be a redstone chest, so I'm going to make all 3 channels of these red, just so it'll not get cluttered up with other pieces of inventory. And let's grab our second ender chest here. And what I'd like to do is grab some blocks, and let's get this to work first. So in the servo, I'm going to whitelist the redstone blocks. Boop. And see if that starts to... Oh, shoot. Ha! I know what happened. Alright, so let's fill this in first. So I should have actually changed the channel before I changed the coloring. So, yep, these are going to fill up here, extracting redstone blocks out of my storage system. And what I'd like to do is come over here and basically whitelist redstone blocks here. And let's move this chest over here and place the ender chest down in its spot. Now this is back to white channel, so it has all of my pumpkins and none of the redstone, because that's in the triple red channel. So with all of that, let's go red, red, red. Open this up, and here's my blocks of redstone hooked up to my ender chest. Okay, so by whitelisting blocks of redstone here, it's now going to suck the redstone out, and you can see it's decreasing a little, and that's going to maintain the dynamo levels here. Great. And so at this point, it's going to suck it out, put it in the dynamos, and basically have a continuous feed with a two stack buffer. And yeah, so that's now going to eliminate all of my unnecessary running back and forth. And hopefully, as I build up the farm again, I'm actually going to see a net positive again on my redstone. But right now, it's going to be dropping. Alright, now that I have a good way of moving items around the base, I want to revisit the steam power that I kind of abandoned a couple episodes ago. So what I'm thinking of doing is upgrading to the high pressure boiler tank instead of the low pressure, because I'm going to get twice the amount of steam for the same volume. And now that I have a good source of refined iron, see I have 700 of it here, what I'm going to do is just take a batch of this, load it into the rolling machine, and I need 36 of these guys. So let's make the refined iron here and pump these out. And so this is going to make steel plate by combining 4 of these together, but it only takes 2 steel plate in a vertical pattern to get high pressure boiler blocks. So I need 36 of the high pressure boiler blocks. Alright, here we go. Here's our 36 high pressure boiler tank pieces. And let's get back to the pickaxe, because I'm going to need to remove the old pieces of the old boiler. And so let's knock that down here. Okay, I'm going to need my pig iron pick, because this is a redstone level. Eventually I'll get around to making a better pick, but let me just demo these pieces. Alright, that's done. So let's bring in the high pressure boiler tank. Bink, bink. Actually, let's see. And what I'm imagining is that I'm going to use the ender chest to pipe my plants, here we go, into pipe my plants over here into the bioreactor, and then that'll feed the biofuel directly into the high pressure boiler tank here. So let me set that up here. This is just going to explode, I think. Yep, okay. So let's grab okay, there's the bioreactor. So let's set it up right here and restock it with the veggies that just popped out. Okay, the efficiency is not 100% yet, so okay, interesting. So I'm going to have to find some other food sources for this guy. So let's find something that's unique that I can feed it. Alright, let's see if we can hook this up and get full efficiency. So I grabbed some sugar cane. That's not going to do it. Melons, not going to do it. Beans, beans will work. Okay, so now I have unique items in each of the compartments here. So what I'm going to do is set up the ender chest here, and let's color it. Well, I grabbed some green, so that way I can basically keep this the vegetation channel. And what I'm going to do is just set up a simple extraction. Let's basically set up, we'll blacklist, I don't know, what should we use for the item? Let's blacklist the melon, because melons are not used in the recipe. So within the melons, let's set up this. Okay, good. And then what we'll do is we need to set up a fluid transport here. So I guess I could use the fluid duct and here, and that's pumping out into the firebox. All right, ignored and running. All right, so what I'll need to do next is basically key in one of every item that I want to transfer. So let's get rid of these guys. Oh, I can't because they are coming back. Alright, so dump them in here. And what I should do then is let's turn, okay, that's still set to off, so it's, or high, so it's not going to extract anything. So let's grab one of each of these items. There we go. Okay. And then this is what I'm going to need to whitelist here to fill in my my ender chest. So let's head back up and see if I can get this to work correctly. So I'm going to put the other ender chest right here next to the second servo that I built. So let's grab one of those. Item duct will go here, and I'll need to disconnect that with the wrench. Bam. Okay, so the next piece, gotta stop hitting things with the wrench. Alright, so let's throw in the ender chest here. Let's also color it. Whoops, I can't, so let's grab the cactus green out, because if I put the cactus green inside the channel, then I can't access it here. Okay, so let's grab two more. And green, green. There we go. Okay, so now I can get to the channel. And what I'm going to do is set up the signalum channel. So let's set that up, and that's going to give us a lot of slots here. So I'm just going to run through this whole bottom row. So these 9 items are then going to be whitelisted in the servo to fill in the chest. So let's just do an initial load here. So these are the unique items that I want. Ignore so that things become active. So eventually this is going to fill in with a stack each. Okay, great, great. And at that point, I think I should be able to activate this side. And this will be a slower extract because it's the slowest of the servos. Question becomes, do I have to pre-populate? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pre-populate this with each of the different item types. So let me take care of that in a quick cut. Alright, that appears to finally work. So I ended up upgrading the signalum servo, which is topping off all the items here in the bioreactor, basically faster than they can burn down into creating more fuel. So the fuel is loading into the steam boiler, where it's almost immediately being converted to heat up the temperature of the steam, and this is going to take a long time before it reaches 100 degrees Celsius. So yeah, so this is yet another waiting game. So let me see if I can put together another bioreactor while this thing's charging. Alright, so there's my second bioreactor. I ended up loading it with the same materials that I did with the first one, and as a result, the steam boiler is now topped out at a full 1.1 million millibuckets of steam. It's burning the biofuel as fast as I'm making it in order to keep fueling the firebox. And on this side, I have added 3 steam dynamos. So these dynamos are pulling steam out through a tempered fluid duct. So the reaction is producing steam faster than these can draw off. And I'm going to just duplicate the same layout. I can hold up to 18 steam dynamos with a high pressure boiler tank of full output. Again, I might have to end up putting another bioreactor in, but at this point it's producing RF, which I'm loading into a capacitor bank, which is then loading into this capacitor bank, which is now finally getting a net positive RF per tick, even while it's filling all these servos to produce the scrap boxes, which have now given me 5,600 millibuckets of UU matter. So I am about 2/3 done. So hopefully by next episode I'll be ready to go. This point I'm waiting for, I'm going to set up a quad fuel MOX formula here. So I'm just waiting for this to, well, for any one of these to finish. And at that point I'll be ready to just start pumping out the plutonium, and that will be working fine. So with that, I'm going to call this an episode. So if you could, please leave a comment or a like, and let me know how I'm doing. And very soon I will be ready to get into AE2, hopefully very soon. Alright, so I'll see you next time in Feed the Beast and Fit Evolve Skyblock Expert Mode. Bye!